Good evening, parents, friends, and most importantly, graduates. I had the honor of giving this speech my first year here at Interlake to the graduating class of 2005. The assistant principal told me the speech should be 15 minutes. He was eager that I take up the feedback is kooky. He was eager that I take up the time before the grad night buses are new to the scene and ever obedient. I complied with a thoughtful 20-minute treatise on the experience of adulthood. After the audience woke up, they gave me a nice round of applause, though Mr. O has continued to torch me for not achieving the standing ovation he had been given the year before. As I prepared for tonight's festivities, I thought about what has changed since I last spoke to a graduating class. What pearls of wisdom have I gained since 2005? The obvious answer lies in becoming a parent. Because nothing alters your outlook on life like loving someone more than you love yourself. Which brings me to tonight's word, perspective. As a social studies teacher, much of what we do is encourage the ability to see things from other people's point of view. Why would the Soviet Union have felt threatened by the Marshall Plan? Why can't Israelis and Palestinians find a lasting solution? Why would parts of the Middle East resist the chance to have Lady Gaga and McDonald's on every corner? I am a finely honed master at understanding historical and political perspective, and I seek to impart this knowledge on my students. What, you might ask, does this have to do with parenthood, or even more pertinently, with your graduation? Well, this analytical master of perspective has got to admit to having had his mind blown by the experience of becoming a parent, and it's gotten me thinking about far more than diapers. Once upon a time, I thought I had a lot figured out. It didn't take me very long as a parent to realize that I knew diddly squat. She's here. What has been really striking to me these last few years, what has most occupied my thoughts, is the power and humanity present in learning through education, through parenting, through life, to see things from another point of view. Once you do this, there is always action to take that can make a difference. One of the things that helps me as a teacher is to recognize that each of you is somebody's kid. Then I can treat you with the love and respect that I want my kids to be treated with. The flip of that is for each of you to recognize that someone or several someones are watching you right now with an intense mix of love, apprehension, and amazement. Most graduation speeches include some form of cheesy acknowledgement, but I am not asking you to thank your parents. I'm asking you to think for a moment about what it must be like for them up there to watch you down here. What are they thinking? What has led up to this moment? You are the only ones that know your story, but what I can tell you is that all of your parents did the best that they could, and that they love you very much. And when you truly get that, no matter what they did to you, there should be a new world available to you with them. When I was a student, it never occurred to me what it must have been like for my parents to watch me graduate. I went to my high school graduation more with them in tow than in mind. But Interlake, what I get now and what I wish I knew then is that the world works when we consider how things occur to others. This is not just a question of parents and kids, but one truly for all of humanity. Because here's the thing about perspective. It generates understanding. And ultimately, when we seek to understand each other, the realization we come to is that nobody is necessarily right or wrong, good or bad, beautiful or ugly. Rather, we all have a lot of reasons for doing what we do to generate love and stability for ourselves, our families, and our communities, all of us. And when we understand this, we can begin to actually take actions that can make a difference in people's lives rather than creating more conflict. When I was a young man, not unlike yourselves here, I thought I had a lot pegged. I tried to make myself cool by judging. I was a cynical guy who thought he was impressing the ladies by making stuff wrong. Looking good meant that saying things were lame. I never truly thought about what was on the other side of someone else's point of view. I was just trying to survive. And what this meant was that I shut off huge chunks of people, ideas, and possibilities, all in the name of looking good. I do like that song. Interlake, I encourage you to consider that everyone has a different perspective and that we all basically want the same thing. For our kids to grow up in a world where they are loved and understood. Yet, in spite of this commonality, we struggle mightily to see the world from other people's perspective. Life, school, parenthood, and you, yes you, Interlake, have all taught me that the world is fantastic. That people are to be enjoyed and reveled in, that love and understanding are the greatest things available to us. That when we get past our survival mechanisms, our cynicism, our wrong-making, our myopia, we can make our lives, our communities, our world a place of incredible power and freedom. A true triumph of humanity. And here's the thing, Interlake. In general, you are way more savvy than when I graduated. You are far more highly trained in the skills of perspective and empathy. You are infinitely more honed in your use of analysis and critical thinking. You've come from a community diverse in culture, language, class, and experience, which gives you a head start on the understanding it takes to make the world work. And most importantly, you are the leaders of tomorrow. You and your generations are the ones who get to deal with the debt crisis, global climate change, the Arab-Israeli conflict, the war on terror, on drugs, on poverty, and a whole myriad of other things, many of which we don't even know about yet. But what I want to suggest to you is that to be right at the cost of understanding other people's perspective is to kill off the opportunity of creating the world in which we all want our children to grow up. And that's the word.